Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Relatively Gaming Podcast, the show where we talk games and, the relative tangents that we go on that somehow connect to games. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, TJ at Turnbase. TJ, how are you, sir?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm in North Carolina. We're looking down the barrel of another snowstorm, so I'm probably gonna have Monday off
Oh,
again. So,
I didn't realize that. Shit.
yeah. So I'm excited.
Hey, 3-day weekend. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, if this is your first time joining us for the Relatively Gaming Podcast, like I said, we talk some games, talk news, what we've been playing. We'll go on tangents from time to time, may have a quiz, may have just a teaching segment. It is what it is, but if you like what you hear, please make sure you drop a like, a follow, subscription, whatever it is, wherever you may be watching or listening, so you don't miss an episode as they drop every Monday at 12 noon Eastern. Also, if you ever have a topic of conversation for us or something you want us to chat about, feel free to put it down in the comment section down below, and we'll try our best to get to it at a future episode. But enough stalling, enough rambling, enough rigmarole, enough Artemis blocking camera from time to time. Let's get on to the news. TJ, what do you got for news this week?
Yeah, surprisingly, a light week for news, but also a heavy week for news at the same time. Light, heavy. Um, First of all, starting off with Concerned Ape, Stardew Valley's developer. He just wanted to say that the Haunted Chocolatier is still in development. Eric Barony, however you pronounce his name, tweeted that he was still alive and still working on the game, though the release date is further away than people might like.
Sure.
So he's taking his time with it, but he's still developing it, which is good because there were rumors that he had canceled the game or he was no longer working on it because he did announce it all the way back in 2021.
Sure. Yeah,
So
I don't know.
it's been quite a while.
Yeah, I don't know the size of that team. I think he made Stardew on his own, but I could be totally wrong with that, so I apologize. But yeah, they've been putting out consistent updates, speaking of Stardew, to that game as well. So, little sidetracks here and there. But yeah, take your time. Obviously, Stardew crushed it, and not gonna lie, I've been kind of thinking about jumping in again. So, I'd rather have him take his time, make something really good than rush it out and it's just kind of falls flat on its ass. So glad to hear he's still working on it. That's cool.
Yeah, I've never jumped into Stardew Valley myself, but it sounds like you have. Do you enjoy the game? Is it a good game?
Yeah, it's definitely a good game. Yeah, it is something I have jumped in and out of quite a bit. Yeah, it's a very good farming sim, and just kind of like social game where obviously you're talking to different characters, helping the village out, and you got a little path choice from what I've heard of, like, do you really focus on the farming? Do you go into the mines and kind of battle out the monsters in there? Do you support the town and go more local, or do you go big corporation and support Joja Mart, who's moved in and is trying to take over? And then there's this whole web of things that you can discover. But in the basis of it, it is just a farming game. But it's a very good farming game. And like I said, I've jumped in and out of it, so I don't think I've ever played it to like what they call completion. I believe it is endless. But every time I've jumped into it, I've just really enjoyed it. I enjoy watching people who stream it as well and seeing what they come up with, and just like their knowledge as well is like, oh yeah, I didn't know any of that, or like wouldn't even think to do that and whatnot. So it's a great game. It's a very good one to relax to, whether you play it single player or now there's a cooperative mode and multiplayer mode, so you can do that as well. It's a great game. Highly recommend it for everybody.
Yeah, I just looked it up as well. Stardew Valley was in fact created by one person, Eric Barony. So Concerned Ape, I thought was a studio. I apologize. Concerned Ape is just one guy.
I mean, studio of one.
Yeah, the studio of one. So that's pretty impressive what he's been able to do with Stardew Valley. He's never raised the price or anything, and he's just gotten a lot of goodwill. So I hope that carries on to the Haunted Chocolatier, whatever that game entails. I feel like I should jump into Stardew Valley at some point to try it out. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Speaking of indie developers, Xbox. No, I'm just kidding. Xbox is not an indie developer; they're a massive corporation. Um, their hardware sales are down by 25%, according to a second quarter earnings call. Quote, in gaming, we are committed to delivering great games across Xbox, PC, cloud, and every other device, and we saw record PC players and paid streaming hours on Xbox, end quote, Microsoft CFO Amy Hood said on the call as well. So even though the hardware sales are down by 25%, which is a massive amount, they seem to be satisfied with their cloud gaming services and their PC player base. So that is good for gaming. We want as many platforms out there as possible.
Yeah, I know they've been wanting to push like the Xbox Game Pass, obviously for a while now. Of like that was going to be their big selling point, and then marketing more recently, like this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, like having it be everywhere. It does seem like they're going to be moving away from the actual box of the Xbox. Obviously, TBD. Who knows? But we've seen it from the push of the Game Pass, putting it on different places, and then also, as we joked about a few episodes ago to this point, like the console wars being over and Xbox titles more frequently going over to PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. This generation for Xbox hasn't sold particularly well in general, but, I mean, good people are playing stuff. I hope it works out for them in terms of a financial. I know people have talked about it where while Game Pass seems like a good idea, in the long run, are you going to make money off of it? The amount of money, or rather subscribers, that they need to kind of stay above water or even, or whatever the hell the terms are for financials, it's like it may not be sustainable. But we'll see. It's one of those things down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew that the hardware sales were down just by feedback and stuff from players and everything. A lot of people are not buying Xboxes. They pulled the Xboxes out of I want to say it was Costco's or something. They pulled it for shelf space. So I know it wasn't doing well, but I didn't know it was 25%. That's a huge hit. So
For sure.
hopefully Microsoft can stay buoyed and afloat and continue to do well.
Yeah, I'm sure Microsoft itself will. We'll have to see about the
Microsoft, the Xbox division
side of things.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I like there being at least like four main players. PlayStation, Microsoft, Steam, and Nintendo. I like there being diversity.
Exactly, diversity and competition is just going to help everybody. I mean, once you get monopoly of things, people start getting complacent and whatnot. I mean, not to allude to a later topic, but wrestling-wise, selfishly, when you have one big company, things tend to go down in the creativity department, and then, another company's here, and everybody does better. So,
Yeah, 100%. That stays true. A video game company that will not be putting its major ports on PlayStation or other things is Nintendo.
Damn it.
Nintendo's going to only keep their stuff on Nintendo platforms for sure. But they came out with an announcement saying that there will be certain image sharing restrictions on Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. According to a notice, the humorous, surprising, or unpredictable moments generated in each player's game may be easily misunderstood by outsiders, and those scenes may, quote, not reflect the spirit in which the game is intended to be enjoyed. Players can still expect the game to release on April 16th, but yeah, it will have those image sharing restrictions on the game, which is weird because if you remember the Switch 2 release trailer and everything, they really touted the share button and all the sharing options that you can do. They really wanted to push like a social, like they even have like a little mini Discord on Nintendo basically to try and push the social features of the platform. So it is a little odd seeing that one of their flagship games, Tomodachi Life, is restricting that, but I could see where some of the... Have you ever played a Tomodachi Life game?
No, I think I've watched a little bit. So is it just like Mii's in a game type thing?
It's Mii's, but they can talk.
Okay.
They have like little robot text-to-speech voices and things. So I can see where that would get out of hand pretty quickly, depending on what you put into the text-to-speech and stuff. And some of the sequences in the game are a little weird.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we've yet to see a lot from the Living the Dream game, but it's like a whole island that you get. They're going Animal Crossing New Horizons mode.
Hmm.
So with this whole island, I who's to say what kind of scenarios and things you can get up to
Did they
in
have a
that? But
direct late recently, or were they going to?
no, they featured it in a collaborative direct, like a big direct or whatever. But they haven't
Gotcha.
had a specific direct about it. I don't think they will for Tomodachi Life. I think it's too niche of a game,
Okay.
even though it does have its diehard
I
fans.
thought I saw it in passing on Blue Sky, but I could have been wrong because I did see
Maybe
something
they
about
did
like
actually.
they were going to include like non-binary characters, and I don't know if it was trans characters. Maybe it was just queer representation. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Glad to hear that.
Oh yeah. Uh Tomodachi Life Living the Dream Nintendo Direct.
Hmm.
So there was a full presentation.
Oh, okay,
It
cool.
was on yesterday.
Hmm.
So that's why I did not hear about it. It was just yesterday.
Hot
So
off
that's
the
pretty cool.
presses. Yeah.
Yeah, hot off the presses. Just skimming through for more news here. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a good game. Like I said, I like making the Mii's and stuff. I'm honestly pretty excited about the game. I don't have a Switch 2 yet, but once I do, that's one of the games right after Mario Tennis. It's gonna be Tomodachi Life, baby.
There you go.
Those games are very fun. Um, but yeah, speaking of the Switch 2 though, Dispatch released on the Switch 2 on the 29th or 28th.
Hmm.
However, the nudity was censored in the
Bastards.
Nintendo Switch version. And the fun part is you can't turn off the nudity sensor.
Super bastards.
Yeah, there is an option on the PlayStation 5 and PC version where you can turn on a censored mode, but you can always toggle that on and off. And the Nintendo version, they could not. The developers of the game said that they worked in concert with Nintendo to ensure that it could be published on their platform, and that is the reason that they did that with the nudity, which
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. Have you been on the eShop, my guy, at any time?
Thank you. I was about to say, shout out to our friends over at the Trophy Room. They talked about this story as well, and they're bringing up the same point that you're about to. So please go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of like hentai and like sex games on the eShop. So I don't understand why Dispatch, which is not a sex game,
No.
can't have a little bit of light nudity. It's appropriately rated M, and I feel like, respecting that, you should be able to have your respective a little bit of nudity in there,
Right.
especially if you want it. Maybe have it toggled off, initially, but
Oh, it is.
make it so that you can like go toggle it back on if you would like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
That would
when
be a good to have that option.
yeah, I think when I started up Dispatch, I think it clearly prompts like, "Hey, do you want this on or off?" and describes what it's going to be. And I told you and shared my experience here, like you're going to see a dick from time to time. One of the episodes, holy moly, that was. I'm glad I had a warning for it, like, like it's not egregious, but there's
Right.
sometimes you're gonna see some body parts, and that's fine. It's the human body. Who cares? But yeah, it's an option. Why not? It's baffling that they took the option away. They can,
Yeah, like I said,
but like you said, in comparison to what's there, you're fine. Very odd.
yeah, yeah. In comparison to what's already on the eShop, which I listen, I've never downloaded any of those games, so I don't
Right? No, you
know
can't.
how. Right.
Right.
No, I've never downloaded any of those games. I get them on Steam, obviously. No,
There
I'm
you go.
kidding.
Yeah, of course. You have class.
That's it. I don't know how far they push the envelope or what's even included in those games, but you see the titles and you see the thumbnails and you're like, my God,
Yeah,
protect the children.
for sure.
Like, so yeah, it's just baffling to me that they would do that, but unfortunately that is the way it is. So the Switch 2 version is a little bit inferior. So just a forewarning if you're looking to get that version of the game and you want the full frontal experience of the game, you might not get it.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, you're not really missing much. I would say one, the thing that spooked me, that scene, can kind of add to the story of like a gravity type thing. But like outside of that, no, you're not really missing much. It's just a weird thing that they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely weird. Um, What's not weird is Scott Pilgrim EX gets a release date of March 3rd. The sequel to the beat 'em up Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game from 2010, is being released. The new game promises a quest-based and partially non-linear experience, lots of flashy fighting, and new music by Anna Managuchi, with creator Brian Lee O'Malley contributing to the story. I'm sorry that I butchered Anna Managuchi's name, but that's what it is. I'm very excited for this game, and also a little trepidatious because I have Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and I'm a fan of beat 'em ups. Everyone in this podcast knows I rave about Absolum all the time. I love Cosmic Invasion and the Shredder's Revenge game, but man, and I love Castle Crashers, but man, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is so brutally hard that I cannot beat the first level on the Steam version. So maybe I just suck at beat 'em ups, but the game seems like it's very punishing. I'll have to give that one a shot. Maybe I can get better at the game before I try this EX version.
Well, if I can help, maybe ease your worries. These are the same creators who made Cosmic Invasion and Shredder's Revenge. This is tribute games, so maybe
maybe it'll be a little easier, but yeah, everyone raves in the beat 'em up community. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is still lauded as one of the better games on offer, especially one of the modern games. So I'm excited to see what they do with this sequel. Speaking of sequels, Borderlands 4 releases its roadmap for the future and drops a photo mode.
Oh,
so now
was that what
mode.
updated on my PlayStation? I was like, what is this?
Now we can take pictures of Vex.
Cool.
And other people, but
of
mostly
course.
just Vex.
And the
cat. And the cat. Yeah, which I still can't remember the name of the cat. It's gonna bother me. It might as well be Artemis. But yeah, not a lot that we didn't already know in the Borderlands roadmap. It was just showing like when the paid DLC is gonna drop, when the bounty packs are gonna drop, when the new characters are gonna drop. So we already kind of knew. The new character will be dropping within the first quarter of 2026, so that is exciting. We only have like 2 months, to wait potentially at the most. So that's pretty cool. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much everything that we already knew. I was excited about it because I have been playing more Borderlands 4 recently. Which I know is probably waiting to the next segment, but Borderlands 4 is fun. It's a fun time, so I've been enjoying getting back into it. A game I haven't gotten into but has released recently is Highguard. Highguard dropped. It was the last. Excuse me. It was the stinger for the Game Awards, the last trailer to drop, and yeah, it's dropped to mixed reviews. I'll just say it at that. I don't actually have a news piece for this. I just wrote down Highguard releases because yeah, some people hate it, some people like it. I've watched a lot of Twitch footage of it. The Twitch viewership has cratered after the first 2 days. It's dropped up by like 80%, so people are already kind of not very excited about it. But it had 100,000 concurrent players at one point, which is pretty good. That's like more than like Concord could ever dream of getting. So it's not a total failure. Yeah, RIP Concord. Not a total failure. Of course, this is a free game, and Concord was $30 if I remember correctly.
Like that, yeah.
So yeah, not a direct comparison, but people are saying Doomsday over Highguard. I gotta admit, when I'm watching it, I don't really know what the hell is going on.
Okay.
You're running around on a horse and a big map. Sometimes you collect resources a la Minecraft. Sometimes you're shooting over points, and it's like 3v3, which seems a little sparse in my opinion for the size of the maps and what you're doing. But overall, it's interesting. If it looks interesting at all to you, try it out. It is out now, but yeah, a lot of people hate it. A lot of people love it. It's a weird game for sure.
Yeah.
And that's it for my news this week.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you on the light side of things, or at least on my end. I was like, man, I don't feel like I'm seeing much. Quickly, for those of you guys who are enjoying the spooky games, Fatal Frame 2 Remake is getting a demo coming March 5th, so you got a while to wait for that, but that's coming out if you guys want to try that out. You brought up Absolum, but you didn't bring up the big news. Absolum has hit 500,000 players.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And because of this is from their Steam page. To celebrate, we've got a date that you can join us to welcome the 1.1 Threads of Fate update to Talum. You'll be able to jump into new challenges, corrupted regions, upgraded mounts, and new customization options as the Threads of Fate hits PC and consoles on February 12th. We know you've been waiting a little while, and we can't wait for you to jump into an upgraded Talum in February. We know you Rebels are also keen to hear about crossplay functionality, and while it won't be landing at 1.1, it's still something we're working on, and we'll have more news coming soon. So let's see. With 500,000 of you Rebels on board, we can't wait to see what you think of Threads of Fate update. Your Resistance Journey and Talum upgrade soon, including new challenges. The new Mystic Ordeals add a little extra challenge for endgame Rebels. Select from pre-made challenges or design your own and share your challenge with the world. An evolving world with corrupted biomes bringing stronger enemies and enhanced rewards for Rebels who face the challenge. Upgraded mounts, bringing new and improved abilities and harder-hitting punishment against the hordes of the Crimson Order, and enhanced customization with new options for skins and emotes for all 4 of our Rebel heroes. So yeah, February 12th, more shit to come to Absolum. So plan ahead, because we'll probably be talking about it a little bit.
That is very exciting. I'm glad to hear them talk at least about crossplay, even though it's not dropping with the 1.1 update, because I would like to play this game with you, and I only have it on the Switch, and I'm not going to double dip, I don't think. So I would like to play some Absolum together, because I feel like half the time I'm barely scraping by an Absolum. I've beaten the boss, but man, is it like I'm trying to do new runs with other characters, other than oh gosh, I get
The frog.
blanking on characters' names. No, Galandra
Oh, okay.
is the that's the only character I've beaten the game with, because I like her big sword that swings down. It's covers a big area and is very helpful, and her upgrades with that sword get like pretty good. The ghost sword that you get, the Phantom Blade or whatever, it's very powerful.
For sure.
But
that
yeah,
one's awesome.
Yeah, me trying to beat the game with the frog wizard or cider cinder
Cider. Yep.
has not gone well. Yeah, or I can't do. It's been
Carl.
so long since I played this game. Carl, thank you. Yeah, with the fisticuffs and the blast bullet. He has some fun builds though. I got a build one time where he a little bit of a tangent, but he would like constantly be gaining the ultimate bar basically, so he could like constantly shoot. I think if you hit the special button, he would like reload the weapon and it would like give you another special bar, so you could constantly be shooting the gun, which was really interesting. I hadn't seen that before.
That's
it was
very
just
cool.
one run where I happened to get the upgrades, so there are some fun upgrades and stuff with the other characters. I just haven't been able to beat the game with them.
Sure.
And that's my goal now, is to beat it with the other characters. So I feel like co-op would definitely help, where I could be more in a supportive role, and we could assist each other. But yeah, that's very exciting, especially the new mounts, because I feel like the mounts are pretty basic in the base game.
Oh, sure.
They die way too quickly. I feel like every time I grab one, they're gone in like 2 screens, maybe.
Yeah, I usually leave them. I don't even bother.
Yeah, because they're gone so fast. It's like, why even bother? But
right.
Sometimes I grab them just for that extra, like, well, at least I won't get hit, so I'll
That's true.
save my health. But yeah, that's very exciting.
Nice. And I got one more story for us. Everybody strap in, because I'm about to dork the fuck out. WWE2K26 has been revealed, baby. We got releases for all the deluxe covers first. Why? But today, as of recording, Friday, we got the base cover art, and we have a whole lot of confirmation of features. So please allow me to dork out as I will go through this quickly. I may also do a deep dive video breaking things down over on my personal YouTube channel. So if you like WWE2K, go over there and we'll go through everything and nerd out together. Anywho, stacked roster yet. We were going to have 400 plus superstars and legends spanning multiple eras, including The Rock, Triple H, John Cena, Trish Stratus, and then we also have 3 new characters finally making their debut: Rey Fenix, Rusev making his return, and Blake Monroe. New and improved gameplay. WWE2K26 cranks up the action with a full lineup of gameplay upgrades, with all new features like reversal revamp, expanded crowd combat, stackable tables making a return, thumbtacks, surprise attackers, barricade combat. We have new match types. New match types including I Quit making a return, Inferno match making a return, dumpster match, and more. Plus, take the fight to the island in the scrapyard, an all-new brawl environment that will be added. CM Punk is the cover star of the base game, and we'll have a 2K showcase about him. Relive his greatest rivalries, battle through fantasy warfare matches. And then what else do we have? Drafts are going to be introduced to the universe mode, if that's your thing. The island is making its return. Mixed bag, I understand. There's going to be a new My Rise, aka Creative Superstar story mode. New and improved arenas. And then, yeah, a lot of stuff that's being added. Like I said, today as of recording, they're starting to let everything out. There's no trailer yet. But there are screenshots available over on 2K's site. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of content creators talking about things. Hopefully we'll get some character reveals very, very soon. There are 4 editions currently up for pre-order. The game is going to be launching on March 13th. If you pre-order one of the deluxe editions, you will get the game a week early, so you can play it on March 6th. All the different editions have their what you get and all that jazz. Seems like they're going to be changing up DLC a little bit instead of one big season pass. At least how it reads, it seems like almost like a battle pass type thing. If you buy some of the deluxe editions, it's included in there, so you don't have to worry about buying it separately type thing. There'll be 4 superstars per ringside pass, they're calling it, that you can unlock. So interested to see how that works. Joe Hendry fans, he is confirmed for the game, but he is a separate DLC pack that will be included in pre-orders. He's not in the base game. Yeah, I'm just really, really excited.
Yeah, I saw that the island was making a return. I saw that 2K was announced, but I didn't really. I wanted to leave that to you because I had no idea what the heck that even meant. The island returning. So
yeah. So the island was introduced last year in 2K25, and it was like a next-gen exclusive mode. And it's if you've played NBA, or at least you've seen that, when you create your NBA player now, you kind of go in this online hub where you can like go shopping and buy different outfits and customization, or you can play like pickup games in the courts that they have around. And the island is essentially WWE's version of it. So you can go to different shops, you can buy customization items that you can then use in the creative suite across the base game. You can just wrestle matches against random online players. And then they also had a story that went on during it, which had exclusive unlocks that once obviously you unlocked it there, then you can unlock it for the base game. There was some content that was locked to that mode, like there was an old NXT arena that you would do in like one match, but then wouldn't be unlocked for the rest, which was kind of frustrating. And like I said, mixed bag. A lot of people were concerned because it was going to limit the creative suite for that community. Like there's community creations and some people are dedicated to like making realistic people, whether it's legends who aren't in the game or like updated attires for current superstars. And they thought with things in the island, it's going to really limit it. I don't know if it did fully. I didn't hear a lot of flack or lash once the game was released. So it may have worked out. They also had later in the launch cycle exclusive Legend DLC that was part of it. So you could get two legends, Nikki Bella and Goldberg, who had recently made the return in real life. So you could get them in there. And then the story was, they had like cinematic cutscenes with Roman Reigns, and it was following like his, I'm in control of the island, blah, blah, blah. And you're trying to impress him, and then you eventually fight him or whatever the fuck. The overarching story seemed interesting, but then the moment to moment was a lot of standstill image and you're reading text at the bottom. And it was like, kind of circa calling back to WWE2K20, which was the broken one. And everybody was like, oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? So I don't know. I mean, I like it in a way that it's something different and it's another avenue players can play this game. Like, I like more options. But yeah, in terms of a quality experience, I don't know if it is. Like, I think I only dipped my toes into it, but I never really fully committed. So it's making a return here. Like I said, it was exclusive to next-gen consoles, so PS5 and Xbox Series. This 2K26, apparently they are dropping PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which, you know, in a way, sad that people don't get to play it, but also I'm like, yeah, because now we can hopefully make a technological jump a little bit. Graphically, It looks the same. They released one entrance. Don't get me wrong, it looks good, but I'm like, there's not a lot visually different here. So maybe the changes for this year at least will come in terms of a gameplay and how things work. Like, obviously adding all these different match types, the thumbtacks, like they're making some improvements there. A big hope I think I and a lot of the player base is wanting is more wrestlers on the screen at one time. For the longest time we were limited to 6. Recent years we've been bumping it up to 8. I would love to see it if we could get like 10 to 12 in there, because there's a game or a match type called War Games where it is 10 participants in real life. I'd love to see that. And then the Royal Rumble, we're going to talk about later. You can have a lot of motherfuckers in that match at the same time. So maybe leaving the old gens in the past and moving on, we would be able to do that. But time will tell. It's still early on the reveals here. But there is a lot of information out there now that they've kind of opened the doors. But we'll have to see what other news they have for us down the line of like improvements. Obviously, whatever the season pass is, base roster, etc. 400 people is nuts. So I don't even know. Like, who are you adding? Is it just going to be like 20 Triple H's, 10 Undertaker? Probably, but like, there's a lot of potential here. We talked a few weeks ago about the AAA guys making an appearance. So there's some spots potentially. It's not confirmed yet, but it's the rumors are building. Are there going to be any TNA guys? Joe Hendry being a DLC character is a little weird to me, but he does have some name value to him. So maybe that's why they're like, ooh, we could make some more money off of his name. I don't know. It is what it is. He probably should have just been base roster, but 2K is going to 2K. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah, that is exciting. So I'm learning more about the island now.
Yeah.
Another thing. But yeah, there's probably going to be 30 John Cenas. Let's not kid ourselves.
We've had that in the past. We've had the Cena Rumble. Good times. Well, I think that's it for news. So let's jump on into our next segment. What you been playing, TJ? What have you been playing?
Well, I haven't been playing a whole lot. I alluded to it earlier. I have been playing Borderlands 4 again. I like that now that I've already played through Borderlands 4 and I've experienced the story and stuff. Now I can have Borderlands 4 as my second screen experience. I can have a podcast on or Twitch or something like that and just go through and start shooting fools and stuff. Still playing my Amon build. I've cleared the first 2 areas of the game. I just got done with the Carcadia Burn. So now I'm moving on to the 3rd area. So it's been fun. It's good to just jump into Borderlands. I've been using the same gun for a long time though. It's just been very alarming. I found a legendary pistol like 9 levels ago, and I can't get rid of the thing. So that's been a little worrying for balancing wise, but otherwise it's been fun. Um, been playing Silent Hill 2 finally.
Ooh.
Finally gave that a shot, and man, is it spooky. Uh, it's a scary game. Um, there's a lot to like about the game. I've only played it for about an hour and a half collectively, according to my save file. It feels like I've played it for a lot longer, but it's only been an hour and a half. Um, there's a lot to like about the game, though. I really like there's a map that you pull up, but it's like an interactive map where it'll tell you like with symbols and stuff like which doors are locked, which doors you can go through, and it updates as you like as soon as you try a door, it'll update your map and tell
Oh,
you that
nice.
you can or cannot go through that door, or it'll circle things, or it'll tell you if you read a note and the note's like, hey, go check out this car behind this diner or whatever, it'll circle the car and it'll
Ah.
or circle the area where the car is supposed to be
Uh,
and tell you where to go and stuff. So I've really liked this interactive map. It feels really cool. And I like that James will pull out a marker sometimes. You actually see him marking on the map,
cool.
which has been really cool. So I haven't felt like I've needed to use a guide or anything like that, which usually in these games I get confused and lost on where to go and I get frustrated and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do. But this map system has been really good for me to be like, okay, nope, I know these are three locked doors and this one requires a key and I don't have that key, so I'll just go a different way. Uh, so it's been very helpful for that. Um, when I was gonna boot up the game, my friend suggested that I do combat on easy mode, and I was like, no, come on, I'm a combat pro. I'll do it on normal. So I'm playing everything on standard. I'm doing standard combat difficulty and standard puzzle difficulty. The combat though, my God, is it's brutal.
Mm,
I mean, you will get smacked even by the most basic enemies. They will do a good chunk of damage, and there's not a lot of healing items in the game. I'm not finding the green herbs, as it were, for Resident Evil.
mhm,
In this case, it's medical drinks and syringes, but I'm not finding a lot of them. And I'm scouring every room I go into. I'm looking for everything,
mhm,
and I'm finding it. But a lot of times I'm walking around and my screen is red.
mm,
Uh, seems like the majority of the time. I actually made a second save file because I was like, I don't know if I want to be in this area with such low health. But I just kept trucking on, and it really feels like a survival horror game in that aspect where it's like you are barely scraping by, you are barely surviving. Luckily, you can run away from most enemies, which is really good. But there are some enemies you just can't run away from,
mm.
and you have to fight them. Um, there was some enemies in a record store, and they just fucked me up so bad. Uh, but yeah, there's been a lot of great things. There's an element where you got to get a key item. I won't spoil it in case those of you listening haven't played the game before. I had to grab a key item, and a fucking enemy pops out right afterwards, and
Mm.
I about shit my pants. It was it was so scary. And I'm glad that they brought the radio back though, too, which is great. So anytime an enemy's around, you hear like
Mm.
of the radio going bad. It adds to the ambiance and the spookiness because I'll be walking down a hallway and I'll hear that and I'm like, is that just a bug or is there like an actual enemy around? Because all I've got is a 2x4 with some nails sticking out of it, so I I hope it's not an enemy. Um, Although I did just acquire a gun shortly, so if you know Silent Hill 2 and you're listening, that's about where I am. I just acquired the gun in the Woodside Apartments, I want to say it is, and making my way through there, making my way downtown. No, it's definitely not that experience in Silent Hill because it is oppressive and scary. But yeah, doing that, looking forward to doing the puzzle and everything like that. There's a big puzzle at the uh, bottom of the apartments, and it seems like that's how you have to progress is you have to go through and find the different puzzle elements to do that. There was a puzzle element that gated you even getting into the Woodside Apartments, which was a record player. And I thought that puzzle was very clever and fun, finding all the different pieces around town and stuff. And I don't really have a lot of experience with the original Silent Hill 2, so I don't know if the original game is like this or not, but it really does feel like you have the whole fucking town that you're rifling through. Like obviously, yes, there's like a lot of closed off spaces and stuff, but like it really does feel like there's an entire abandoned town that you're like rifling through, trying to get where you're trying to go.
Mhm. Wow.
So, really been enjoying the game though. It's very fun. Hopefully, I get snowed in on Monday so I can play more Silent Hill 2
Hmm.
and scare myself. It's, it's been fantastic. But that's pretty much all I've been playing. Just trying my hand at Silent Hill 2, playing a little bit of Marvel Rivals, and playing some Borderlands 4. How about yourself, Brett? What have you
Very
been
cool.
playing?
Last week I talked about a game called To a T that I kind of jumped into. I wanted to finish it for this episode. I did not. I'm about halfway through. It's okay. I think it's cute. I think it's adorable. In terms of like getting its hooks in me, it's not really. So I think that's maybe why I didn't finish it off. Um, it's very everything flows very nice, but the presentation's kind of like a TV show. So
Okay.
you do certain things, and that's like your episode, and then it goes through a silly song of like an ending show song, and then you start the next episode. It's like the beginning of the show song, and I'm like, okay, you could skip it. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't register with me at first that that's what they were going for. So I was like, wait, I already saw this, not that long ago. Why am I seeing this again? I thought it was going to be a different song or whatever, just like telling the story. But yeah, it's fine. It's definitely a simple puzzle game like we talked about last week, where, you're trying to figure out how to do certain things with your arms being out in that T pose. And then outside of that, there's a lot of things that you can collect in terms of like different clothes, different hairstyles, different ways you can customize your character and whatnot. So it's a nice chill game. It's not too strenuous or intensive. But yeah, it just kind of hits that like, yeah, it's fine. I don't know if it's anything great. But been working through that. On the other side, Ball X Pit had a free update, and we streamed that. Had a great time with that. It adds one new base ball, and then quite a few new evolutions, one new base item that you can equip, and then 2 evolutions for like items you already had in the base game. I will say the 2 new characters that they added, very, very cool. You have the Falconer, which literally has 2 falcons, and you aim with the falcons where you want the balls to shoot from. So you kind of almost have like this pointer or a V or a triangle of where you're aiming. That was really cool. And then you have the Carouser, which is kind of like a carnival guy, and eventually your balls, instead of shooting, will rotate around the character. So he's more of like a close range combat. So you're just getting in their face and going and just hitting them with the balls like that. Loved both of those characters. They were a lot of fun. In terms of the evolutions that they added, there's a few really, really good ones that I liked. There's a new laser where as it goes, it constantly shoots a laser depending on which way it's facing instead of periodically in a grid, as the base ones did. There's this purple fire one that had a really cool aesthetic and visual to it. There's a landslide one where if it hits, it might be a critical or it's just a different percentage chance, but it will have a landslide effect above those enemies that will constantly do damage as it drops rocks on them. So there's some fun new additions in the free update. I did see everything that they had to offer in a 2-hour span of a stream. Granted, they don't tell you what's new. You have to be smart, similar to the base game, and like look at your encyclopedia and be like, oh, okay, there's one of these. Oh, there's like 8 evolutions. Not really. For this new one, like you got to look through everything independently, which I get because the base game did that in terms of like chasing the platinum and getting unlockables and getting everything. I was a little, I think I did like 2 or 3 games at the beginning, and I was I only ran into the new characters because you unlock the buildings for them. But I was like, I can't tell what the new items are. I have no idea. And then it finally clicked like, oh, I should check this. It's not like super clear. of like, this is from this content. In the encyclopedia itself, it is sectioned out where it's like, this is the base game stuff, go over a tab, this is what's in the update. But they don't just add all new stuff. It's like, oh yeah, also we added elements to the base game thing there. So like, for example, the fireball in the base game, they added like 5 evolutions to that fire. But you wouldn't know unless you had either A, stumbled upon it organically, or you went into your encyclopedia and it saw 3 undiscovered mutations, evolutions, whatever the fuck. So once I was like, oh, then I was able to find everything really, really quick, lickety-split. So yeah, it was fun. There's a new endless mode too. For those of you guys who like endless modes, you could just keep going and throwing the balls out there. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. There are going to be 2 more free updates at some point this year. I'll probably dive back into them, but we'll see. I finished a game this week as of last night. Far Cry 3 has been finished.
Heck yeah.
Went through the remainder of that game and finished off Hoyt stuff. As I thought, Hoyt is not that memorable. And you kind of can breeze through that. Obviously in the Voss section, and as Jason's going through, you have to do the encampments, and by unlocking, or rather beating the encampments, then you can unlock fast travel. In the second half with Hoyt, or that back area, they give you fast travel immediately on that island, because they're like, all right, we know. But no, there's a story reason why. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was like, ping, 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 just bouncing back and forth, like golden pathing those missions. I think for stream we had 13 missions left. And yeah, I beat it in 2.5 hours.
Nice.
The game still holds up. I still really love 3. Voss still is the number 1 villain. He's the main one. Sorry, Hoyt, you didn't really stand up. Sam, who you meet late game as an ally, is a great ally. Citra reveals her true colors. We did the good ending first, and then I couldn't remember off the top of my head what the bad ending is. So we watched it. Woo! I was like, oh yeah, that's it. Okay, yep, we're going into that. If you want to check the VOD, you can go check the VOD. But I was like, woo! Forgot about that one. So I finished the game on stream. I cleaned up the platinums, or the platinum trophy. Jesus, I cleared up the trophies after and got the platinum, so now it's 100% done. So it's been deleted, and Far Cry 5 has been installed, and we'll be ready for next week to jump into that and go into Montana and dealing with the Seed family. So looking forward to that.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you're progressing in the Far Cry's and you're still committed to playing more of the game.
I can't be like, oh, we're done now before we get in the new one, because you're like, Far Cry 6, bitch! Yeah. And then I do have one more game I want to talk about. I do have a indie game that came out last year called Is This Seat Taken? Adorable puzzle game. If you suffer from social anxiety, or you don't like talking to people, or maybe you just don't want to be around crowds, this is the game for you. Because this is just managing where the fuck you sit down. You are like God, and you're looking over buses, movie theaters, picnics, stuff like that. And you have a bunch of different random little shape civilians. And you hover over them, and they're like, oh, I want to sit next to this blob. Or this one's like, I want to be alone. Or this one's like, I want to talk. Or this one's like, hey, I forgot to shower. I'm kind of stinky today. And you have to manage where you put them on the bus and stuff like that. Really easy game. Adorable. Highly recommend it. It's on Steam. I don't know if it's on Switch. But I played it for a little bit yesterday prior to stream because I wanted to talk about it today. And I probably made it through 2 or 3 like chapters of just organizing those folks there. A lot of fun. Highly recommend it. Just a good old time.
Yeah, that sounds like a delightful game.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to wrap up what we've been playing. So now it's time for our favorite segment called Bret is going to do revenge, or TJ is going to rally back, or we're going to quiz, or we're going to teach each other about dinos from space that just kill things. Today, Bret, your host, hi, that's me, is going to enlighten all of you about a very exciting event that's taking place tomorrow as of recording. If you're watching this on Monday, it's already happened, so you can see the results. This is a big wrestling weekend this weekend, folks. The Royal Rumble is happening this weekend, and this is probably wrestling fans, not WrestleMania is probably your most excited weekend, or it's All Out if you're a AEW fan. But the Royal Rumble is something like wrestling fans were really excited for. It's a great time of year. So I figured I would share with you guys what the fuck the Royal Rumble is if you don't know. Now,
Can I take a guess?
Please.
Since it's the Royal Rumble, does that mean that people dress up like the royal family and beat the shit out of each other?
No, but there has been people who have dressed up in the past as royalty to open doors for entrance.
Yeah. Okay.
Circa cool. Like 2006. You guys know that Rumble. Oh boy. So, TJ, you have actually watched a Royal Rumble. Via Extra Life.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah. Whenever we're in Extra Life, and usually either it's the morning and I'm kind of prepping for the next 12 hours or day and I've stepped away from the screen, or maybe we're having a meal, I'm like, hey, I want to put something on for the viewers, because you don't want to just sit there watching nothing or watching 20 people eat and shove their face. You want something to watch while we're all doing that. So usually I throw on WWE2K and I will put on a Royal Rumble or some type of match. But a Royal Rumble, essentially what it is a big match of 30 participants, either 30 men or 30 women. The match will start with 2 participants, whoever drew number 1 and whoever drew number 2. Those 2 are going to face off against each other for, they change it every goddamn year, either a minute or a minute and a half. They're going to fight. The objective of this match is not to pin your opponent, like a normal typical match, is instead to take your opponent and yeet them over the top rope so they hit the floor, and that's how they're eliminated. If they go over the top rope, they're in danger, but they're still fine. They are only officially eliminated when they go over and both of their feet have hit the floor. That's when they're out. One foot's fine. If they're tossed over, fine. As long as they're still hanging on. Feet on the ground, donezo. Where it gets confusing, if they went in between the ropes and they touch the floor, they're still fine. They're still good.
Okay.
Has to be over and has to be both feet.
Wow. Okay.
So you start with the 2. After that time period, another person comes out. And so on and so forth. So 30 participants will eventually come in, and gradually people are going to be beat up, chucked out, whatever, until there's one last person remaining. If you win this match, you guarantee yourself a title shot at WrestleMania, which is like the Super Bowl, the World Series, the hockey finals, it's the big ones, the big show.
It's the Stanley Cup Finals.
I'm so sorry. I just was blanking and I couldn't think of it, so I'm so sorry.
Also, I do have a question.
Please.
Real quick, though. So you said it starts off with 2 people, 1v1.
Yep.
And then more people come in. Do they cycle other people out, or can there be like 15 people in the ring at one time?
Good question. So if nobody's getting chucked out, this ring will just keep piling in. So there could be 15 people just all, I mean, they're not all going to just be in there in a cluster like cartoon cloud fighting around, but in the ring, around the ring, they're going to be fighting to try and get people over the top.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Now, like I said, this happens with the men, and it's been happening with the men for the whole lifetime of this pay-per-view and event. The women, this is still relatively new to them. They have been participating now for, yikes, 6 or 7 years. So still relatively new. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. It's been going, but not as long. But happy to see that they're getting the representation, getting the opportunity here too for that. Now, on top of the match, exciting because, you know, WrestleMania implications, title shots. You can see like either new people who are kind of up and coming can make like breakout performances here and really get a push is what they call it, of like momentum behind them. Another thing is even if they don't win, sometimes you'll see elements kind of form in these Royal Rumble matches that lead to storylines that will progress throughout Mania in that season. But the really fun part of these events is they don't announce everybody who's going to be in this match. They'll have people declare to be like, I'm in the Royal Rumble. Great. But they always leave a little bit of mystery in this. So you have the first 2 entrants, but everybody else after them gets an entrance as they come in. Granted, it's not their full, you know, shabam, because they're running in there to kick ass. But there's a countdown at every entrant from 10. And as you count down, it just builds this anticipation of like, oh, who's coming out? Who's next? Who's going to do this? So you have the people who are announced, but then you also get the fun factor of like surprises. Is it going to be a legend that's going to be randomly showing up from, you know, wrestling's past, who's going to make a fun appearance or return to the ring after a break? Is it going to be somebody who's returning from injury, who's been on the sidelines for 6, 8, 12 months and come back and, you know, be back into the swing of things? Or the even crazier thing is new signings. People from other companies that haven't been with WWE before, or maybe are part of the developmental program in NXT, and they're getting a shot at the like main roster program, and it's a lot of fun. There's a wrestler who's going to be wrestling tomorrow in potentially his retirement match, which is kind of scary, AJ Styles, but he debuted at this event 10 years ago, and he was like huge. He was a big wrestler who made his name in TNA for many, many years. And then he went over to Japan and wrestled for a while. And he was like one of those names was like really popular among wrestling fans that had never been in WWE. And he showed up in that Rumble and everybody's like, holy shit! Just like balls to the wall. It was crazy to see him in there. So it's a very exciting event because while the implications are also there, it's that thing of just like there's constantly new elements to it, whether it is new faces or just people you know about coming in there doing different moves. You get that sense of excitement every minute of new elements kind of added to this thing instead of it getting stale and, you know, just being there a flat line. So yeah, it's going to be airing tomorrow. They're doing it over in Saudi Arabia, which mixed bag, but yeah, but it's going to be airing in the middle of the day. So that's kind of nice. And then the added factor too, that I really, really enjoy is, it's like a family event. Like we all get together, we're watching it together. We do a fun thing is where we get out whiteboards and we'll draw numbers, and whoever your numbers are, you're kind of like cheering for those people to win. And we'll write down like, oh, number 1 was this person, number 2 is this person. And Papa Griff will keep track of it all. And we're like, yeah, I got so-and-so. So it just adds another fun factor of like investment into it. So yeah, the Royal Rumble is just a really fun event. And on top of the 2K news, I'm like, oh, this is too. It's like, it's a really great weekend. I'm not going to lie. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, sounds like a great time to be a wrestling fan. And honestly, that sounds super chaotic. Just the fact that there's someone new coming in every minute and there's people trying to yeet each other over the over the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a super chaotic event. How long does it usually last for?
So usually these matches last an hour and change. So they've had some participants who, like the number 1 and 2 people, they've had them run the gauntlet and go the entire way.
Wow.
They've had people who come in at the later numbers and they're the ones who win it. Like it's funny, they used to have a little vignette or video package that was like, this is the Royal Rumble by the numbers. There have been this many winners from the number 27 spot. There's been this many. It's like, oh, okay. I think like one guy eliminated 15 people one year.
Wow.
They have like numbers for like, this person's been in the most Rumbles. This person's eliminated the most people across all their Rumbles. I think there's only been one winner who's won it 3 times, and that's Stone Cold Steve Austin. They've had people win it in back-to-back years. Obviously, on the women's side of thing, like records, because it is new, is still, a little bit more fresh, and they don't have as much of stats, but good to see them doing it. And you mentioned the chaos. That's another fun element of these matches, is there are very chaotic elements that can happen across this thing, whether it is people, both of them fighting each other, both teetering over the rope at the same time. They're both in danger. You'll see people taking advantage of that and just running up and knocking them both off. I'm going to shout out a wrestler, Kofi Kingston. He was like famous, or was like an added element to his character, where he would have like this ridiculous save that he would do every year. So the first year, I think he was in danger of being eliminated, and his opponent pushed his feet off while his hands were on the ground, and he did like a handstand and walked himself over to the stairs to get back up. There was one year he got launched over to the ringside barrier, and he jumped from the barrier back in at one point. He's been part of a team, so him and his teammates have done some funny stuff too. There was one year where he got clotheslined over the rope. His teammate was on the ground, like as he flipped over, like caught him as like a piggyback situation and just went around the ring. I was like, yeah, I saved him. And then one that I found really impressive is he gets knocked over. I mentioned both feet have to touch the floor. They put something under one of his feet. I think his buddy like caught his foot. Is like, no, you're not touching the ground. And then they put something underneath him so he could rebalance. And then after a little while, they like did a cheerleading thing where they like clasped hands, had him step on their arms, and they like launched him over and back in. So he was great for that, and some fun moments there. In recent years, unfortunately, he has not had the success where the stunts have not been successful, which is kind of a bummer. But yeah, it's just a great event overall. I think the returns and surprises, obviously, for a lot of people is the real highlight of this. Always like the rumor mill of like, oh, so-and-so, they're a free agent, or could so-and-so from this company pop over, because that's been something that's happened in more recent years. There was a really emotional return. I think it was just before the pandemic. A guy was retired because of neck issues, and he had been rehabbing and finally decided, like, I want to give this a try. And once again, rumor mills, like we're all talking about, like, do you think he's going to come back? And when he did, like, the reception was huge. You could see he was emotional on his face. Like, it was just a really heartwarming moment seeing him come back. So yeah, it's just a fun thing overall. Really looking forward to it, seeing all the surprises, just having fun hanging out with the family and stuff like that. I have some winners in mind who I think are going to win this year's, but it is truly that element of like anything can happen. Like last year's winner, especially for the men, was like a big surprise. So I think that's a cool factor where it's not just like, oh, yep, it's so-and-so again. Like, because that can really put a damper on the match as a whole of just like somebody boring winning it, you know?
Yeah.
So, any more questions about the Rumble?
No, that sounds very cool. I'm excited for you. I think you'll
Thanks.
have a good Saturday then. That sounds fun with the whiteboard situation and stuff.
Definitely.
My only other question is, can I come over?
I wish you could. I mean, if you want to leave now,
Yeah, if I leave now, let's see, 14 hours
you'll
plus.
make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
wish you
gosh.
could.
Yeah, maybe next time. Maybe
Yeah.
next time. Do I do it more than once a year, or is this a
It is
yearly
once
event?
once a year, so it's usually this January period is when they throw down for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like WrestleMania, you said, is like the Super Bowl
Yep. That's usually
of
March,
wrestling.
April time.
Okay, well, the Royal Rumble sounds like the All-Star game. You know what I mean? Where it's
Mm,
like,
that's an excellent call.
yeah, it's like kind of you get everybody involved and stuff, and you get some team ups you wouldn't usually see and stuff like that. So
100%. 100%.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
Well, thanks for letting me dork out about that. Let's move on to our final topic, sadly. We're going to be talking about the future, whether it's future releases, backlog, just something we're looking forward to diving into. TJ, what do you got for us this week? What are you looking forward to eventually hopping into?
Well, I've really been enjoying Silent Hill too. Like I said earlier, it's very spooky but very fun. It's very engrossing. Like I find myself thinking about Silent Hill the town. So I want to give Silent Hill F a try as well.
Mm.
I feel like I'm gonna need to beat Silent Hill 2 first, but Silent Hill F looks very fun. I hear the combat is kind of a highlight or a focus of the game, so that's pretty exciting for me because even though the combat is harrowing and horrifying and difficult in Silent Hill 2, it is very good. It's very good combat. It's just difficult. So I'd like to see what they could do with Silent Hill F and how they implement that. So I'm pretty excited to try it out. I'm glad that I'm getting back into Silent Hill or getting into it properly this time. So yeah, I'd like to try out other games in the franchise, and Silent Hill F was the most recent release. I gotta give it a shot.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah, I've heard good things about, obviously, the remake that you've been playing and Silent Hill F. I'm curious how they connect, if they connect, or if it's just more of a title thing. But that's cool. Very cool. All right, I got a little bit of a different one than the spooky. I do have one that's hitting the emotions, though. I'd like to shout out a game that I've been meaning to play for a while called Before Your Eyes. This is from the Steam page. Embark on an emotional first-person narrative adventure where you control the story and affect its outcomes with your real-life blinks. With this innovative technique, you will fully immerse yourself in a world of memories, both joyous and heartbreaking, as your whole life flashes before your eyes. This was a game I was hearing about left, right, and center from content creators who focus on indie content, and it sounded like it was, both a heart-wrenching experience, an emotional experience, but a very good and satisfying one. And with it being eye tracking, or using that technology, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, being limited to Steam, but now it is also has been on PlayStation, and I do have a VR headset. So I was like, oh, I can finally jump into this. I've had it, and I've had it sitting in my backlog for a while. It's just one of those games where it's like, it's going to sound weird. You got to commit. Like, I know I'm going to be fucked up by this game in an emotional state. So I need to, I got to be in that headspace of like, yep, I'm ready to cry. Let's do this type thing. So it's something I like to jump into because, yeah, I've just heard everybody putting this game over so much and speaking so highly of it. And, I talked about it, I think a while back. Games are supposed to make us feel things. So, sometimes you need a good cry. I gotta do that.
Yeah, I have a YouTube video that's about 10 minutes long that I go to. Anthony Griffith, that a friend of the show, Mike, also knows this YouTube video, but I go to that video when I need to cry. But I feel like I should expand my repertoire, and maybe video games will be a good avenue to make me cry as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, everybody, this has been another episode of the Relatively Gaming Podcast. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us today for all the fun news and excitement. Hopefully my wrestling talk didn't annoy you too bad. But yeah, you guys can catch this over on YouTube and Spotify every Monday where new episodes drop at 12 p.m. Eastern. You can give it a watch, give it a listen over there. Like I said, if you like what you heard, us, game related, whatever it is, drop a follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Really helps us out, helps the channel grow, and we would appreciate you for it. And then, yeah, anything you want us to talk about as well, whether it's a specific game or a topic that you have in mind, feel free to put it down in the comment section down below, and we'll try our best to get to it in a future episode. TJ, thanks for hanging out and recording another great episode, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm going to go play more Silent Hill and scare myself.
Woo! Everybody, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.